Are we already started? Oh, I'm right on time to watch Taiwan live TV.
Welcome everyone. Hey, nice to see you all. Welcome to another edition of Late Night with MJ Klein. Excuse me. Never fails as soon as I hit the mic. I have to cough or clear my throat. Let me move this a little closer here. Okay. How's everyone? It's been a while, a couple of weeks since we were here in the studio, and I just wanted to say hi. I don't know what's going on. Streamlabs has so many weird things. I can't monitor my audio. So that means all these bumpers and things that I'm playing in the background, I don't hear them. I have to look at the meters to make sure that the audio is actually going out, and you can hear it. Now I can hear myself because I'm monitoring on my USB interface and it has a headphone output. The other thing is that the chat is not working in the chat box itself, right here on, oh, this is crazy. If I click all of this, it's gonna end my stream. So I have to use, believe it or not, either my second device, or I have to make sure that I'm looking at my screen, to be able to see, I mean, I'm looking over here at the screen, and this camera is better. I got an overhead camera. I mean, I'm looking at my screen, and I got my tablet here, if you see on the side, just trying to, make sure that I can see the comments. It's pretty pitiful, actually. Now, they should be burning to the, hey, Bud, how you doing? Nice to have you with us. I can see that on the chat there. You must be on Periscope, which is good. Okay. So I want to welcome everyone on Periscope. Evidently, Periscope comments are working, which is really strange because Casper and I have been working on this together. Casper, as you know, is starting to simulcast using Restream.io, which I've been using for, I don't know, I guess about a year now. And I'm simultaneously broadcasting to 4 different platforms at the same time, including Periscope. Periscope and YouTube together, the primary ones. I'm also broadcasting to Twitch and to Africa TV, which is the Korean live streaming platform. Now, Casper was able to get Twitch comments to integrate, and I'm able to get Periscope comments to integrate, but I can't get Twitch to work. And the last time I heard, I think he had just gotten Periscope to work. So I got to figure out what's going on. I got to figure out how come Periscope works and Twitch doesn't. So anyway, we don't have a big agenda here tonight. Just a little talk, little Q&A, as I said in my title. Studio show, some tracks, Q&A. I've been doing, some more recording. I've been planning more than I've actually been cutting tracks. I've been writing new tunes too, which is really important. I mean, you always want to keep the new tunes going. I've got about 6 tunes in progress right now, and we have, track sheets that keep track, of all the tracks. There's right now, all I've got is a drum track on this one. But these are different, I've got a whole, over here, I've got a whole filing cabinet full of them, little box full of these projects that I got going. And it's a challenge. It's really good. Now, I'm doing hybrid mixing. If I go back to my mobile, you can see over here on the right, I've got a 32 channel analog mixing desk. It's an 8-bus. And over here, I've got a Tascam DP32, which is the old Porta Studio. It's 32 digital tracks, and it has MIDI on it. And a lot of people laugh at these, but I'm not laughing, because if you know what you're doing, if you're an actual engineer, you can get some really, really nice sounds. But what I am doing with my hybrid workflow is I'm using Reaper to mix and edit tracks or process tracks in a way that I'm not able to do in the DP32, because it is limited. It's a really good recorder, but you know, the digital audio workstation allows you to do many other things, you know, using plugins, and also you can use inserts and insert things, you know, from the main console. My goal is to be able to run all the tracks through the console for mixing, because the equalization and particularly the bottom end on this console is really, really cool. It's quite amazing. But unfortunately, I can't show you anything in Reaper because Reaper controls the, what am I trying to say? The audio drivers. So when Reaper is running, I can't send the audio to the USB into Streamlabs, you know, for broadcasting. That's the problem. I got to solve that problem. I got to figure out how to do that. Maybe I can temporarily not use the that's a special driver set for Reaper. Maybe I can just use the Windows drivers, and then I can do that. Now, tonight's Late Night with MJ Klein is brought to you by ivideo.com.tw. Now, if you're watching on YouTube, and even if you're not, you can go to YouTube, and in the description below, you will find a URL and a 10% discount code. So every time that you use ivideo.com service, you get a 10% discount, not just the first time. I am actually using now a new, they sent it to me last week for 2 weeks for a review, and I'm going to do an in-depth review on it, probably on my blog, but I'm going to talk about it on the live stream too. It is a 4G that is mobile home Wi-Fi router, and the speeds are quite good. They're actually very respectable speeds. It's sitting over there in the window, and I've got all my devices connected. I got all my cameras. All my remote cameras are on, like this. You can see right next to the microphone. That's my Samsung phone. I've got an iPhone clipped to the superstructure overhead that's holding my green screen behind me, and it's clipped down. That's what gives me the overhead perspective. That's an iPhone, and that's all on the same network. It's all being run off the Wi-Fi box, and it works quite well. I'm very, very, very pleased with this Wi-Fi box, and so there you go. Sometimes that happens, Ken. That's a really, really good question. Of course, you know, Paul McCartney is a genius, and so trying to compare my songwriting with his is kind of like, you know. We won't go there, but it's a good question. I do often have dreams about things, and in the past I have written complete songs. A lot of times I zone out because I can hear the notes so well. You know, I got all the pitches in my head, and I can envision. So I have driven down the street, like one of my favorite songs from my 1997 release. I wrote in the car just driving down the street. At night, I had this idea, but I'll tell you how it usually happens. It usually comes with a hook. That means I have an idea for the chorus first, and then usually I backfill the verse because the verse wants to set up the chorus. See, it's kind of like this. Most people don't really realize that you can't necessarily write something in a linear fashion, start at the beginning and go to the end. For example, if you were going to give some kind of a lecture, you know, public talk on a subject, what you would do is you would develop the body of the talk first and then the introduction, because you can't introduce something that doesn't exist yet. You have to have the body. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to talk about, I don't know, you can pick, you know, astronomy or something, you might have a particular field of interest in astronomy. You're talking about maybe the rings of Saturn. And you would have to develop the talk about that first, and then you know what to introduce. And then you can say, in the bright, in the sky, you see the planet, and then you look at the telescope, and it's the only one that we have with visible rings from Earth and stuff like that. Then you know what you're introducing. And so for me, the introduction to the song and usually the verse, the first verse for me is the hardest thing because I don't know what I'm introducing yet. So I work on the hook. Now, a lot of people do that. Like, I know some of the AC/DC songs that they have, like Sink the Pink and things like that, or, any of those Hell's Bells or whatever. I'm almost positive, listening to those songs, that they came up with the hook first. You shook me all night long, and then they backflowed it from there. One of the tracks that I played last week is called "Do You Believe Me?" And I've got the hook and everything the chorus is designed. I mean, I could play it. I could sort of, I don't have any effects on my voice or anything like that. I could kind of show you what it sounds like to give you an idea. But I'm struggling with some of the verses right now. I'd say that song is probably about 80%. I should be able to cut the vocals, I'd say, in the next 2 weeks. I want to try to have the vocals done on that by the end of this month. And another song I've got called New World. Again, I had the hook first. Beautiful Girl, had the hook for that first, and it just, that's how I do it. But how do I get the idea? That's a really good question, because a lot of times I'll just get a thing that pops in my head. And okay, sure, it's my pleasure. I just get something that pops in my head. And like most songwriters, it's funny because a friend of mine heard some of Patrick Moraz's MIDI files, and they're just ideas. And of course, they were things that later ended up on an album. You hear the album, they're perfectly executed, but you listen to some of the stuff that, he records just getting ideas, doesn't sound that good. And mine don't sound that good either. I'm not a keyboard player. And if we look over here on my mobile camera, I have a Chord keyboard here. This is a digital workstation right at my disposal, right underneath the DP32. And it's easy for me to, if I, for example, go to the assign screen and select this, I can put this on the stereo bus, and here we go. Then I've got the, the piano right there. If I go to the combis, we got like this is piano and strings. So sometimes what I do, just because it just sounds so, it sounds nice and rich with those two things together, And so I just goof around, and sometimes I let the recorder run, and most of the time it's junk. But I do get a couple of ideas, and let me show you what I mean. I don't mind telling you some of these things here. Let me see. This is going to be, what is this I'm looking for? I think it's this one right here. I have a new song that I'm working on, and the only thing that I can tell you is that it's called We're Breaking Up, and that's the only thing that I have so far. And so I got to come over here, and I got to move my device so I can see the comments, because I'm not looking at the screen. Let me just do this. What I did was, because I had my keyboard up, this is one of the things that I was playing with. Let me see what I got here. See, that's kind of the theme, right? And this is all on the machine. And it's just something that I'm going to play with guitars and things. But this is totally unrelated to what I was doing the other day. For this, that was totally unrelated. And so what I do is, let me do this, and I don't mind showing you guys this. This is unfinished stuff. I don't care, because this is how it's done. And you asked, and so I'm going going to tell you, not everything is gold. The machine erases just as easily as it records, and some people don't put stuff down because, oh, it's not good enough, it's not ready. No, come on, horse feathers. I mean, that's how you develop things. So let me play this a little bit, and I'm a terrible keyboard player. Okay, what I'm going to do probably later is MIDI record this and edit it and press a button. So don't take this too literally. But this is, if it sounds really terrible, I'm going to cut it. But this is just a very this is a thumbnail sketch, and I used some of my favorite cello and violin patches in here to put kind of a concert, sort of a classical music type of feel to it. It's the main theme, right? Hey Matthew, nice to have you with us. So this is the first verse. 2, 3, 4. No drums on this or nothing. I think I need to turn this up some. Now here's the orchestral part. And here's the hook. Oh man, am I terrible on the keys. So then it's going to go back to the intro, right? Anyway, so that's just an idea, and in a couple of weeks from now, you will hear more of that song. You'll hear it with drums and bass and so forth on it, and then obviously towards the end, we're going to have to start doing the vocals on it. So, but that is a good example of what I do for thumbnails and things, and it's no different than anybody else. Well, thanks, I appreciate it, Ken. I mean, when it's all together, right? It should sound a lot better because I like the this is in the key of C, and the hook is because we're breaking up, right? Should be waking up. Of course, it's got to be a higher register. To wonderful day, that's today. So I told you I'm terrible, right? Instead, we're breaking up, and there's no making up. It's a beautiful day, just like our wedding day. There's so that's kind of how it goes. That's the general theme of it. And so the keyboard has so many incredible sounds on it. I mean, some of these things are just like one of my favorites is what they call the Majesty pad, and if you put the arpeggiator on, it sounds like you can get drum beats and everything out of it, so you can really go nuts, and it's good for pre-production because you can change the tempo and stuff on it. So if you want to just do if you just want to have like a So all kinds of things you can do with it, and it's just a writing tool. This particular keyboard is known for being good for writers because it has a lot of these things and just for ideas. Now, I would never suggest using, you know, drum tracks from here, I would use the drum machine over here. This guy. Sit back so you can see a little bit. The Roland, yeah, the the DR880. Roland has a long history, classic history of really incredible drum machines. So that's one of them, and it's got a good pedigree. So let's go to this camera for a minute now. This is a tune that I've been working on. I was playing it a little bit for you the other day. I'm not using Reaper at the moment. Not a lot of plugins. I'm really limited, excuse me, to what we have here with the built-in effects. But let me do this. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring this up, and I'm going to start with the this is the kick, or this is the drums here. Okay. Now this is all dry. Now we can mix with, go to the mixer screen, and this is no equalization. And then we can set, I dropped the 1K off of it, and I added some 10K. Actually, I didn't. There we go. I'm adding around 9K, and I boosted the 150 Hertz by 4 dB, but this is off, and that's on. And so if we add the reverb to it, then it sounds like this, and we can add a longer reverb time to it, but that's kind of crazy. There's different programs, like this is a hall, room, live, studio, and what they call plate. Now in this case I got live. If you put the pre-delay on it, it causes there to be an echo in it. It's a little too much, I think. And so I usually, on this particular program, I turn the pre-delay down to 0. We've got diffusion, reverb time. Let's see. The problem is you have to add the effects to where they're going to be discernible in the mix. So this is the bass. This is my crappy bass. I'm not a bass player. So these are the guitars. But see, if you turn the reverb off, now on, it's there, but it's subtle. Maybe a little longer time. Maybe a little more. There you go. So now I got, this is one of my favorite patches. It has a like a vocal sound in the background with strings arpeggiated over it. So they call this the Majesty pad, and so put these together and they're like, we're offline. What happened? Why do we go offline? It says we're offline. Okay, did we go offline on anything else? Okay, it said we went offline. And so, yeah, I don't know what's going on, but yeah. All right. We still here? Okay, I don't know. It says we're live. I don't know. Are we live? Do we freeze? I can't tell. Are we live? Okay, you can hear me. Okay. All right, thanks. Man, it's like, this is crazy. All right, let's go back. Did it drop out? Because my device said that we went offline. And so I immediately restarted, which usually, well, not with Periscope, but usually with YouTube, it will recover. Okay, let's go back to live chat. I don't know, did it drop out? Okay, it did drop out, okay. All right, but that's all right. We're back. So what was I doing? Let me go back to here. Okay. Maybe YouTube is telling me that it doesn't like my content. I don't know. So I was in the middle of playing these kind of tracks. So this is the what we call a sugar smash. It's like a vocal. Bring the bass in so you can hear it. And then the arp of the Majesty. Okay, thanks. Now, you hear the drums are cutting through that snare? Okay. Now, hear how big this sounds? But if we take the strings out, it's just guitar. Okay, so that's what I'm doing on this tune, and I've got the vocals mapped out. Haven't done it yet, but we're getting ready to cut those. Now I want to show you something else I haven't shown you before. This is this will be a new tune to you guys, and this is a song actually that I started working on. Thanks. Who do say thank you? Nice to have you with us. I got to make sure that I check my check the device here. Oh my goodness. Yeah. So at least we're working on Periscope. Hey T, did the Periscope stream stop and restart? Like, do I have like two? I wish I could join them together. Okay. All right. Now, this tune is experimental, and as you already know, I do drums last, so all I do is like a little simple, I'll do like 1 or 2 or 3 patterns just to kind of give it an idea. Sometimes I will write an introduction, and then I'll just loop a loop after that. So there's nothing special about these drums. So here's what the drums sound like. Now there's echo on this. There's reverb. Now it notified twice. Okay. Oh, there's our first spot. Now, this is experimental. I'll show you. I got 2 tracks of guitars on it. Join the second notification. Okay, thank you. This is there's 2 tracks of guitars. These are the let's see. This is the Brian May Red Special through the VB1 amp, real trebly. Now, the same sound. This is the other guitar. This is the 1961 or 64 Epiphone. So, when we put these together, this is what it sounds like. Because what we do is we try to mix them together. So this is... That's both tracks. So this will be... It makes it a lot fuller, so... Sorry about that. Yeah, it is. It is. But when see, but by itself, right? If you put these by themselves, and then you bring the bright ones up, it's a composite, right? And the vast majority of stuff that I do is composite tracks. Because I'll give you an idea. These are, you probably can't see it because it's kind of far away. but there are actually 2 stereo tracks, and it's comprised of, each stereo track has 2 guitars on each side. So it's 2, 4, 6, 8. This is 8. I played it 8 times to make it happen. And so it starts out just the drums going, and then it comes in like this. Then we got the bass. And this is how the whole song sounds. Now watch out. Those guitars are gone for now because I did another set of guitars, but these other guitars are not the ones that I'm going to keep. But I'll show what they sound like anyway. Let's go to the mixer here. I've got on this drum tracks, I got a little bit. Yeah, I think I got a little bit too much. I'm just checking my EQ here. I'm going to bring some more of this bottom end on the low. So let's try this again, and we'll try like a semi little mix on some of this, okay? And I even have a preliminary track that I'm using for keyboards. I got a like a rock keyboard on there. So, and okay, just let me know if these other cameras freeze too. I just want to know. So this is what it sounds like. Obviously, this is a rock tune. So these are the other big guitars that are coming in here. Got to be careful not to overload it. And this is the key. Anyway, so that's it. It's a thumbnail. I'm actually going to change the arrangement on that, so I'm not quite done. But what I can do eventually is hopefully if I can get my audio drivers working with Reaper so that they actually so that I can send the Reaper audio to the second set. Oh, you like the second set? Yeah. I think the second set is actually better. I forgot, actually. I did the, you know, the what do you call that? I guess a comp. There's actually 3 guitar tracks per side, so it's 3, so it's 12. I cut it. I did 12 tracks. 2 guitars playing the rhythm, the dun dun, and one guy going like that on it. So yeah, that's 3, 3, 3, and 3. So It's kind of like Born in the USA, you know, that kind of sound. It's just a lot of digital reverb. You know, the DP32 doesn't have a tremendous amount of digital reverb, but it can do quite a number of things. And let me see, this camera is still frozen. So I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but we haven't been to Win-Wins for a while. So let's go to Win-Wins. We'll see what happens. I don't know what's going on. Oh, I see. This froze. Okay. Gosh, here we go. All right. I guess who knows? Are we back on the other camera? I don't know. It's yeah, okay, it's working. But I think we're kind of done with the music portion of the show, if that's okay, unless there's something else you guys want to hear. I do have some other stuff in progress, but nothing I can, you know. I, for fun, sometimes will do edits of other stuff. Like I'm a huge fan of classical music. I don't really talk about it that much, but I did an edit of a very famous classical tune. I'm going to actually use it for a segment. I have a segment planned that I want to do on late night. So, yeah. There he is. He's still there. Yeah, that guy's still there. I know. And the truth is, he's still there. I see him every day. Almost every time I'm there, I see him. So it's funny. You can see the green screen in there. It's hilarious. So we haven't done this for a while, and you know, we've had some really great friends of the show. I mean, I don't have a bazillion followers, and that's okay, because the followers I got, guys, are unbelievable. And you know, you're very loyal, very appreciative, and you put up with the fact that I'm an ugly 63-year-old guy, but evidently you find some merit in what I have to say, which I really appreciate. But seriously, yeah. My followers have sent me some of the greatest bumpers, and we haven't played them in a while. I'm going to play all of them right now, just because it's been so long, right? And I got to play the latest one. Now, let me tell you what a bumper is. A bumper is just a segment in the broadcast. You know, it works in radio and TV, but it's just it's just a little section that you put between segments, you know, to change things around a little bit. And they're often like some kind of a testimonial. So here's one that we got recently, and you got to hear this, and you got to let me know if you can hear it. I hope you can, because I can't monitor because Slobs is broken. But this is one of the latest ones, and here we go. Thank you.
Welcome here from the top of Europe, and you're watching Taiwan Live with MJ Klein.
I mean, come on. Was that good or what? That was really good. No, he does. He does like the food there. He does like the food there. Yeah, and so here's the thing, guys. If you want to send me a bumper, all you have to do is just use your phone, mobile phone, to go, hi, I'm so-and-so, and you're watching Late Night or watching Taiwan Live TV or anything like that that you want to say. As long as it's not disparaging, you know, that's okay. But now, that was the latest one that I got. Now, I'm going to tell you the master of all bumpers. And I should say, I don't know, the masteress? I don't know. What's a female master? Just the female, like Kung Fu Sifu, the Kung Fu master of all bumpers is Coco. Now, I've got two bumpers from Coco. I'm going to play the first one, and she wore a beautiful Chinese dress. It's fantastic. And then I'm going to play the second one. The second one she did for me in a green screen, and I edited it here. It's fantastic. Guys who've seen this before, you're going to want to see this again. But this is Coco's first and then second bumper back to back. And we'll be right back.
Hello, my name is Coco, also known as Val, and I live in North Carolina. Yes, I am in the Carolinas. And I just want to welcome you because you are on Late Night with MJ Klein. Tickets. You may step aboard. tickets. Step aboard. This is the final boarding call for the 451 Express. This is the final boarding call for the 451 Express. Welcome aboard. I'm your conductor, Coco. And our next and final destination will be Taiwan. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride, because you're on Late Night with MJ Klein.
And of course, our friend Ken.
Hey everyone, this is Kenrod, aka Ken, and you're watching Late Night with MJ Klein.
Here's a bumper from our friend Rob.
Hi, this is Rob Ebner, and you're watching Late Night with MJ Klein.
And Ken was so kind that he actually did a second one for us.
Hello, my name is Ken Rod, and you're watching Late Night with MJ Klein.
And this is the first one Casper did, and he was wearing my prototype Taiwan Live TV shirt. It looks better on him than it does on me. But yeah, this is one that I use on the opener.
Are we already started? Oh, I'm right on time to watch Taiwan Live TV!
All right, I'm going to leave the screen black for just a second, because the last bumper I want to play, yeah, I'm just going to play it.
Hi, this is Steve from Florida, and you're on Late Night with MJ Klein.
Yeah, friend Steve. Yeah, thanks. You know, I mean, all I did was edit them. And so, you know, there are times when actually I do bumpers for other people. So I want you to hear this one, because I just want you to hear this. Hi, MJ Klein here. And you know, when I'm not live streaming on location or from my studio, I'm watching the greatest live streamer in the world, Dave in Osaka. You should be watching him too. DaveInOsaka.com. Now, while we're here, I just want to do this. Let me show you the show info. If you want to send a postcard, go to Taiwan Live TV/late night-show and check out mailing labels for postcards. And the email for the show is latenight@taiwanlive.tv. You can reach me directly there. Got ideas for the show, complaints, comments, whatever you want to do. Want to send me bumpers, send them right there, latenight@taiwanlive.tv. And what I can do is if I press this magic button right here, it can actually put it up in the, there you go. And this is our Line QR code if you want to join the Line group, which is fantastic. The Line group is, well, it's something that, you know, you really want to join if you can, because we have such a great group of people, and it's an excellent group. We have a lot of fun. Now, everybody knows that my sponsor is ivideo.com.tw, and they've got an English website. And so 10% discount code. See the video description for the link in the code. And I got to give a plug for our company, Asian Casting Consortium, asiancastings.com. And this is interesting because people talk to me about this. They're worried, you know, the way the economy works in the United States, they've had to outsource because it's just too difficult to make things. American quality is fantastic, but, you know, that's just how it is. And so they went to China, and now there's all kinds of tariffs imposed on Chinese-made products. We are in Taiwan. It says we are a Taiwanese manufacturing consortium, so we can help with all those tariffs, because we don't, excuse me, I'm burping. We don't have those tariffs here in Taiwan. So thanks, Steve. Steve. You mean Ken? Thanks, Ken. You mean for playing the Steve bumpers? Yeah, and everybody else's bumpers. I think they're all great. I had such a great time with those. And so anyway, this is our second background, which people don't see too often. I don't play it that often. And this is a third background. And let me just do this. Let me cut the camera. And I can actually cut the transparency. This is a place called Suao. And it looks just like that. I mean, this is a port city. Look at that beautiful bridge there. And yeah, it's like, I mean, it doesn't even look real. I took that myself with my camera and I processed it in Lightroom, so it's not a big deal, you know. It wasn't like I did, you know, it's not fake or anything. So turn our camera back on. So, oh, the bumper for Dave. Oh yeah. Well, that's how I feel about it. I think, you know, personally, I think Dave is the greatest live streamer in the world. This is my opinion. So, but, and I got one more. I got the world behind me, which I like a lot. This is a nice scene. Gosh, I haven't done this for a while. I need to update. I don't have much time. I've been working on these recordings, you know, and I do have a number of things that I want to set up. And once I get Reaper going with, you know, where I can show it in SLOBS, because there's a growing trend amongst music producers to, you know, to show like their mixing strategies and workflows and so forth. And I don't mind doing that because I'm old school. I mean, digital, you know, didn't exist back then. I remember I did in 1995, I used Pro Tools when it first came out to edit. It was actually easy because at the very beginning, we were using like Cool Edit and then Cool Edit Pro on the PC, but nobody would record anything seriously on it. We're still using 2-inch tape, you know, for 24 tracks. And the 32-track digital machines existed and so forth. But yeah, so I have a very hybrid sort of workflow where I'm using analog inputs on things with the main console, but at the same time using, you know, the digital recorder. And so I do want to, I really do want to show that kind of methodology. And with Reaper, I can do the, I can really show you the workflow that I'm trying to, you know, trying to set up. Now, let's see. We don't have any UFO news, do we? No, we don't have any UFO news. I don't have any news in general. I have all this stuff set up for my news desk. Thanks, Ken. Take care. Like I got my news desk set up, see? Taiwan Live TV News. I just don't have any news. So we're going to forego that at the moment. But I used to have a lot of different win-win backgrounds. I actually do. Let's see. This is one of my favorite backgrounds because sometimes, you know, people want to call the cops on us. It's me and Casper hanging out and we're drinking outside, you know, and people just, you know, they just can't take it. But that's me and Casper in the shades. And this is just a static of Win-Wins, which is like a lot of the stuff that I used to do at Win-Wins. And I have a nice shot of Casper and Win-Win together, which is good too. And me. So actually, I got to take my camera out of this, but that was from quite a while ago when Casper was here. Gosh, this is probably 2 years ago. So yeah, we've got all these different scenes. And anyway, the Win-Win backgrounds can go away. And yeah, so here's the live background that we had. And I like that one the best. I just went there one day and took my camera and shot a 4K video of the guy, and that was it. It was good enough. So, all right. I want to say good night, good evening, good afternoon to everyone wherever you are in the world. I'm not going to play my show closer because I have not updated it. Haha. Yeah, I'm lazy. I haven't. It still says 2018. So, what can I tell you? But I want to tell everyone thank you so much for joining. And Please be sure to check out TaiwanLive.tv and the Late Night Group, the Late Night Show, the Late Night Group on the Line app. And thanks for joining. I'm going to have some tracks for you probably in the next couple of weeks as I get some vocals done. I don't mind, showing you those in progress. I have a very, from the perspective of today's supposedly modern music production, I have a very old school, way of doing like triple track vocals like Queen used to do and so forth. And so if you go to mjk.asia, you can hear a lot of my old work that I did using that methodology. So thank you guys so much. And we will see you next time on Taiwan Live TV. Have a great evening, great afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Thank you so much for joining.